First of all, we are joined with Robert from the Swale Vehicle Enthusiast Club this evening. Welcome along to the show, Robert. And
thank you for inviting me.
Very much for joining us. Firstly, can you tell us a little bit about the club?
Yes, the club was started in 1988 by 2 or 3 people getting their heads together to try and form a club for anybody that was interested in vehicles. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be cars. It can be lorries, bikes, motorbikes, anything you like, as long as you have an interest in those vehicles.
How many members do you have in the club, and do you need a classic vehicle to become a member?
At the moment, we have just over 70 members paid up for this year.
Yep.
You don't need a vehicle at all. Some people find that they're a little bit expensive. They tend to join the club, get ideas from other people. Cars are very often being sold within the club. You normally find that if you become a club member and you're enthusiastic, it doesn't take you long before you have to go out and buy a vehicle. That's it.
So Robert, can you tell us about this year's Classic Car Show?
Yes, this year's show is our 21st show, which is a landmark as far as I'm concerned. It will be on Monday the 3rd of May, and it will be held at the Sheppey Sports Club at Halfway. Now, this is not only for our club members, this is for other clubs if they wish to enter, plus individuals. They can bring their vehicle along after making a necessary phone call to get a spot, and carry on from there, really, and have a good day.
Are there any prizes given to the owners of the classic vehicles?
Yes, everybody that enters a vehicle is in fact given a plaque to say that they've attended, and then we have various trophies for pre-war car, post-war car, best in show, best restoration, various denominations of that. Obviously they have to be returned at the end of the year, but there is something for people to aim at. Some people are just not bothered about cups. They just like to put their car in, become part of the day and enjoy themselves.
Robert, what can you expect to see at the show?
Well, there's certainly always plenty of auto jumble for people looking for spares and the odd wing mirror and things like that. Bric-a-brac stalls. There are various stalls that have miniature vehicles in boxes, etc. People like to buy a miniature of their existing car, etc. Children's entertainment and plenty of food and drink, which is what we like.
Where else do you show your vehicles locally?
Well, there's 2 or 3 schools that tend to get in touch with us, and I think also one of the big organisations had a fun weekend last year, and they certainly got in touch with us and asked if we could put some time in and put a couple of dozen of their cars up there just for people to have a look at if they hadn't made the show in the past.
So, Robert, how do you keep people up to date with what's happening at the club?
Well, for all our members, which currently is, I might add, is £12 a year to be a member of the club, which is very, very small in my book. We do produce a news sheet every month which shows various articles about club members' cars and other things, plus all show dates that show other than our own show, shows around the country, and all the minutes of the previous month's meeting so that everybody is aware of what's going on, and has full access to ring anybody to raise a point if they wish to do so.
Do you meet up regularly at the club?
Well, we have our meeting, our monthly committee meeting, on the last Tuesday of every month, and those that are not committee members normally join us at the club, and then we all muck in together and have a drink and have a chat once the committee have finished their business for the evening.
Robert, I understand you've got a new logo.
Yes, we had a competition amongst all of our members, the prize being a free t-shirt with the logo on. One of our members certainly came up with the logo, which now is going to be launched at the show. The lady that does all the embroidery for the logo on the various t-shirts and sweatshirts, etc., caps, etc., will in fact be at the show to take orders, obviously, and it does involve new colours for the club, which is a gold logo on a maroon or that type of colour background, which I think works very well. It was a very nice logo. I quite like it.
If any of our listeners would like to find out more information about the club or become a member, how can they do that?
If they need to know any more about the club, what I do suggest they do is to come along on last Tuesday of every month at the Sheppey Sports Club and join in. Remembering, of course, if they do become members, it does cover their wives and their children up to age 16. After 16, they have to become separate members. If they want to join the club, certainly they should ring the membership secretary, who is Ray, and his phone number is 01795 510 343. Either that, or they can ring myself on 01795 877 060.
Could you just refresh our listeners what they can expect to see at the show and when it is and where it is?
There'll be a number of cars on show, military cars. There will also be ordinary vehicles. As I say, military. There'll be bikes, more bikes. There's always a lot of bikes there, motorbikes that is, obviously. There's be bric-a-brac and auto jumble and entertainment for the children, plenty of food and drink. And let's just hope we get some sunshine as well.
And of course that is on the 3rd of May at the Sheppey Sports Club. Robert, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along and speaking to us this evening.
Thank you for your time.
That's Robert here at BRFM from the Swale Vehicle Enthusiast Club, telling us all about their forthcoming show and of course the club as well.
You're